Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the hundreds and hundreds of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, Charles Martin, he was able to capture a piece of the heavyweight title with his really weird win over Glaskov. Glaskov kind of, I think he tore his ACL. It was awkward, the way he landed on his leg and his knee snapped, and the rest is history. Martin didn't have to do too much to capture a piece of the title. But with the win, he's putting himself in line for some big fights moving forward. He's put his name in the mix, and I'll be honest, Charles Martin is definitely the worst of all the title holders. He's definitely worse than Wilder. From a skill standpoint, he's worse than Wilder. He's worse than Fury. He's worse than Luis Ortiz. I didn't really see much from Charles Martin, to be honest with you. I wasn't really a big fan of him. I like Wilder more than Charles Martin. That's saying something because I'm not really big on Wilder like that, but. He's coming out and he's saying that he wants to unify the titles. He wants to unify, starting with Tyson Fury. So I'll read you the quotes. We'll dissect his whole situation and who he is as a fighter. But Charles Martin states the following, I quote, "I want to fight Tyson Fury. I want to fight Deontay Wilder. I want everything. I want all the hardware I want all the hardware in the heavyweight division, starting with this IBF title right here. Tyson Fury has more belts, so we'll take that first." And then Leon Margulies, shout out to Leon Margulies. Funny story here, not to get off topic, but Leon Margulies, the president of Warriors Boxing. I went to the Erislandy Lara and Jan Zevic fight in November, and Leon Margulies was there. But see, the thing is, I didn't know who the hell Leon Margulies was back then. So when I saw him, he looks like Gary Shaw to me. I swore up and down that it was Gary Shaw. So I was looking at him for about a good 5 minutes, and I'm like, man, that's Gary Shaw. So I started thinking of questions I'd ask Gary Shaw. So Brian Jennings had his fight with Luis Ortiz coming up, so I was like, oh, let me go ask him some questions about Brian Jennings. And I go up to him, I say, hey, can I interview you? He said, yes. Who are you with? I'm like, I'm Brendan Taylor, True School Sports. We're upcoming sports outlet. And he's like, okay, cool. So then when you do the interview, I turn it on. So then I do it. I'm like, hey, this is Brendan Taylor here, coming to you live and direct with Gary Shaw. And he's like, he laughs because he's like, Gary Shaw? I'm not Gary Shaw. So then I'm like, yes, you are Gary Shaw. And then Leon Margulies, he's, I asked him, the first question I asked him, as if he was Gary Shaw, I tell you he's not Gary Shaw. So then I asked him again, as if he was Gary Shaw, and then he's like, listen, I'm not Gary Shaw. You have the wrong company, all right? And then the interview kind of, and there, I have it on footage. I have never released it, but I might have to release that for you guys one day just for some laughs. That was my you don't know anything about boxing moment. But anyway, Leon Margulies came out in regards to the Martin Wilder fight in the future happening. He said, two big, strong American heavyweights who can punch like that, lights out. And then Martin says, as long as the fans want it, then I'm waiting. I'm going to show the world that I got the fighter's heart. Now, Charles Martin, I gotta be honest, man. I had never watched Charles Martin up until last night. I've been hearing about him, I've seen highlights, but I had never watched him live. And I'll be honest, there wasn't a lot I liked about him. He doesn't throw his jab with any sort of conviction. He's very flat-footed. He loads up on every punch he throws. A lot of punches he throws. I'm not really a big fan of Charles Martin like that. I like Wilder more than Martin. And, I was hoping when I watched him that he would show me something that I didn't see in the highlights and I can get behind him. But, not really a big fan of him. I think any top dude at heavyweight, most top dudes at heavyweight can beat this guy. He just doesn't seem like he has a lot of dimensions to him. And the dimensions he does have, he doesn't seem to have them too refined. So, we'll see what happens. If he fights Fury, he's got a puncher's chance. But I think Fury boxes his ears off. I think Wilder either boxes his ears off or stops him. I just don't see him beating those guys. That's just my take, though. I hope the guy can make some improvements and prove the world wrong, because he seems to be a nice guy who does have a fighter's heart. He does want to go out there and prove himself. And even this fight, Glaskov was a worthy opponent, and he didn't get a chance to really showcase what he had. So maybe we'll see more in his next fight, but didn't like what I saw in the rounds before Glaskov injured himself. So he wants to unify. He's, you know, already out there talking, pushing for unification fights, and we'll see what happens, man. Charles Martin, maybe, you know, this is boxing. He does have some power. He does do that, but he does have a lot of things to correct from a technical standpoint. So, you guys out there in the boxing world, let me know what you think about Charles Martin wanting to unify his belts. Who would you like to see Charles Martin fight next? What did you think about his performance before Glaskov injured himself, and what's your overall take on Charles Martin to begin with? And yeah, just leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me. But at the end of the day, I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.